These are all coils for each one of the spark plugs. It's a coil overhead here. I'm gonna put all the coils in. They will go in 3 on this side, 3 on this side. When I'm done with that, I will put the fuel injectors and the fuel injector rail up there. Right here, you can see the coils are installed. Now they just go down inside this hole, and this hole right here will go over. Intake manifold bolt right there. We'll secure them so they don't move around, and then you will get your little nuts that you took off there in the beginning, put down on top of these, tighten them down, and the coils will be done. Fuel rail, this thing goes all the way back over here. I put mine in with the fuel injectors already mounted to the fuel rail. So I had to pull out the coils to get this in there. But if you put the fuel injectors in separately without them being attached to the fuel rail, you can put the fuel rail in with the coil still on there. But make sure each fuel injector O-ring is seated in there nicely. And if you have to put it in before you put your coils in, you know, coils can go in over the fuel rail just like that. Once you got your fuel rail in place, there are 2 bolts down the side that need to be put in, 10mm bolts right in there. Tighten them down snugly, but don't over tighten them. It's going into an aluminum head, so don't make them too tight. I'm gonna go through and connect all the wires to the coils and the fuel injectors and throttle body and all the vacuum hoses up here. I'm not gonna walk you through how to do that. They only fit in one place, and you've had a detailed how to remove them all. So, you know, just put them back. If you don't remember where they go back and look at the first couple videos. You'll figure it out. The main wiring harness that is on the driver's side, this one right here, you see it has a piece that goes inside there. This piece right here likes to fall out a lot, so make sure it's in there. It holds all those little pins in there straight. You can see the shape of it. The deep part is the upside part. This is just like a bowl shape. Stick it in this orientation right here before you connect it to the other side. If you don't have this piece in there, it's quite possible that you're gonna bend a bunch of these connections in there. Just do everything you can to prevent any wire damage. This is what the driver's side looks like when it is all connected here. You see bigger plugs go on the coils, while the smaller plug goes on the injector underneath. Purple wire coming out here, I got mine cut, goes down here to the oil pressure gauge. I got mine cut because I have a digital oil pressure gauge that doesn't work with this. So mine's just there. This plug here, this one here. Vacuum hose, got this T right here, goes onto the side of the throttle body. This one comes down over here to this little setup. And now coming over here to connect the throttle and cruise control linkage to the throttle body. This one is the throttle. This one is the cruise control. This one goes on the inside right up here, while this one goes on the outside right here. Don't forget this bolt right here. Bracket goes there. That is for your oil dipstick tube. Now for the passenger side, this is what it looks like when the throttle cables and cruise control cables are connected properly. This is what it looks like when the coils and the fuel injectors are connected. You will have an extra wire here. This goes on the air cleaner hose that runs across here. These couple of connectors, see all different sizes. They connect to obvious places. They only fit one, see they won't go on the wrong one. But this one right here will plug onto there. This one right here will plug onto this. And then this one right here, save for later because it plugs on to your air conditioner. And don't forget to plug on your cam sensor down here. Before assembling the front end here, remember I didn't torque this down. Need to torque this down. This should be torqued at 25 foot-pounds. It's a 13mm socket, preferably a 6-point, but 25 foot-pounds. As I was going through double checking all my torque on here, I found that I am missing one bolt for the oil pump. I just don't have it. It didn't come, so now I need to go to the hardware store to find me a bolt to put in here. I got one, just don't have another one. So off to the store I go. The original bolt I needed to go find, went to Ace Hardware. They didn't have any hardened, well, case hardened. This is hardened, but it's a number. I bought one right here. This is all they had. It's hardened, but not quite case hardened. Not a grade 8. So I got a grade 5, but it's it'll do the job it needs to do. All right, got the bolts put in, torqued down. Now you're putting your timing chain cover gasket on. It will sit in place if you put it over these two guide pins. The holes might not line up completely, but it's a little bit flexible to that extent. So just put timing chain cover on, and when the timing chain cover is on, tighten all your bolts down to 43 foot-pounds. Every one of them, even on the water pump, but not these. These are the only ones that are not 43 foot-pounds. All right, all the bolts are back in around this timing chain cover and in the water pump. They all need to be torqued at 43 foot-pounds. All 13mm socket except this one. And you torque that one down separately, but go ahead and torque all down 43 foot-pounds. And then when you're done torquing that down, before you can put your power steering pump on, you need to put that plug back in here. And then after the plug, you put your oil filler neck back in there, and you can start adding all your other components. And adding other components such as the air conditioner, the alternator, power steering pump, and idler pulley, tensioner pulley, idler pulley. Then this thing will be done. Put the belt on it, connect the hoses, put antifreeze in it, put oil in it. We're almost there. Woohoo! I got the plug in the head on the driver's side. Got the oil filler neck on the passenger side, all tightened up. The hose for it run over here all the way to the back of the throttle body, that big airport back there. Now we're gonna put on this. This is part of the crankcase ventilation. There's a big old, let me see if I can find it. On the back of each head is a pipe, very back, both sides. But this and this will attach to as this lays over the top of the engine. And then later, this side will hook into the air breather. Put that on now. All right, got that part of the PCV system in. This is what it looks like. Goes down this way, over here, and through here. Routed under a couple of hoses here. On top of everything here except for this wire. This one goes to the air breather box later. Now, going to install the tensioner and idler pulley right here. Pay note to this bolt right here. Tensioner idler pulley right here has a dimple right there. That's where that bolt is going to fit. Remember, you kept your bolts inside everything so they didn't get lost. That's where it'll go. Put it on. Quick note before putting the tensioner idler pulley on, you still got your heater hoses to connect right here. It's a pain in the butt to get to those if the idler pulley's on. Put the heater hoses on first. I got mine tucked up out of the way over here, but I'm going to put those on right now and then install this. Okay. Got the heater hoses on, clamps on, the idler tensioner pulley on, lower radiator hose on with the clamp on. Now I'm just going to stick the air conditioner unit back over here, put the alternator back, power steering pump back, and then later I'll connect the upper radiator hose and we'll put the belt on it, top it off with some fluids, and fire this thing up. Got the AC compressor on here, got the power steering pump on here. Now that the power steering pump's on, you can put the upper radiator hose on if you want. It won't be in your way anymore. But now I'm going to put the harmonic balancer on way down here, the pulley that goes on the crankshaft. All right, here we go. We got the harmonic balancer on, the alternator's on here, alternator wire connected here, and the one into the back is connected. Now I can, it's hot out here. I can go ahead and put the air breather box back on, put the belt back on. By the way, there's two different ways this belt will route, and it will fit both ways and work both ways. So I'll just show you one way. But after I put those back on, I'll connect this hose and fill it up with antifreeze and put some oil in this thing and start her up because I want to know what it's going to do. Got the air breather back on. Here's the air filter. Time to put the air filter back in. And on the back over here, remember there was that one plug that didn't go to anywhere. Well, it goes on the back side of this air box right here. Just there. Right there is where it goes. Now this is the routing of the belt from around the crank. See, it comes up around here. Focus. Around here, up over the air conditioner, down under the water pump. I don't have it on all the way. I wanted to make it easy to show you the routing. Up over the alternator, over the power steering, and back down to the crank. Anyway, you can put a socket on the end of this and move the tensioner out of the way so it'll allow you to put the belt on. Now, top off the antifreeze level in the radiator with that plug out, and you will see the antifreeze comes out right there when the engine block is full. It's pushed all the air out. It will open up and pour out fluid there. So now I can put the cap back on there. This is what the cap looks like. Put it in, tighten it down, and once that's tightened down, finish topping off here if you need to, and top off here. The thing is ready to start. Got her all together, plug back in, with the cap on the radiator, the overflow bottle almost filled up, not quite, but almost. This is all done, ready to start up. I just need to connect the battery. But before that happens, oh, it's time for dinner. Would you look at them shrimp kebabs there? That burger and a fly. Fly adds extra protein, but this is good. Now for the moment of truth. I don't know how much air is in the fuel rail, so it might take a minute to get it started, but once it starts, we should be watching this. Should get some oil pressure. So let's see what it does. See, we'll start. Start. Here's the oil pressure. And we have oil pressure at an idle. This is great news. Hope it stays up here at an idle after the truck heats up. It will be best. So I'll let it warm up for a few minutes and come back and check the oil pressure. So the engine is warmed up for a few minutes. It's not completely warm. It's not enough to circulate the antifreeze, but just showing. 0 oil pressure at an idle. Raise the RPM, we get oil pressure. So the rod bearings, the main bearings, and the oil pump have all been changed. Now, that just tells me there is some kind of blockage somewhere, or this oil I'm using, which is full synthetic oil, is not good. Should I not use full synthetic oil? Should I try regular oil? I don't know. But off of idle, let's see. Right here, 1,000 RPM. We have good oil pressure, 7, 8, 9 pounds. I mean, it's not as good as it should be, but let it idle. We don't have any.